Now, a new documentary series hoping to break the taboos around women's health issues starts tomorrow night on Channel 5.
Yeah, the programmes are hosted by broadcaster Cherry Healey and include showing a hysterectomy for the first time on British TV. Well, Cherry joined us earlier and told us how making the programme was a real learning curve for her.
I really relate to people who feel that this is an embarrassing subject. I haven't always been like that. In fact, I only really learned the difference between a vulva and a vagina when I was 30. That's so shameful. So I'm absolutely not shaming people for not knowing these things. But after making this show, I know what endometriosis is. I know what fibroids are. I know the difference between a regular period and a really heavy period where you need to go and seek your GP's help. The difference between menopause and perimenopause. These are things that happen to us over our life as a woman. And it's really useful, it's really powerful to know what they are. So the perimenopause, for example, is the period where you're going towards the menopause, where you have your last period and you no longer menstruate. And the perimenopause has about like 30-something symptoms, about 32 symptoms. And if you experience those symptoms and you don't know what's going on, I mean, you're going to get really scared. Something such as rage, insomnia, incontinence, hair loss, anxiety, now, and also a real loss of identity. So if you hit 45, 50, and you start to go through these, and you don't know what they are, that's really scary.
And you show us some really startling stats in the show, don't you, about the number of women who are going through some of these conditions?
Well, 1.5 million women in the UK suffer from a condition called endometriosis. And I have to say, I didn't know what it was before I made this show. It's actually as common as diabetes. And if you think about how many people know what diabetes is and how much research has been put into it, we don't know anything. We don't know enough about endometriosis, and it can severely affect someone. So it's when a similar tissue to the lining of the uterus grows in rogue places, and it can kind of grow anywhere, but it often grows around the pelvic area, which means it's really difficult for people to walk.
It's incredibly painful, isn't it?
Incredibly painful. And the women I spoke to on the show, a couple of them told me that they consider ending their life. You know, so if we've got young women who can't go to university, can't get a job, can't get married, can't live their lives, we need to be putting more money into research.
And over the course of the programme, you look at all these various things like endometriosis, incontinence, HRT, painful periods, female baldness, all these sorts of issues. And you talk it through with people who are going through, various problems. And I think you deal with that issue of shame and isolation, which lots of people feel about these things.
It is full of shame, and it absolutely shouldn't be. And that's historical. That's because women have been told that anything around something that isn't pretty and neat should be hidden in the shadows. And actually, a woman's body is sensational. It is miraculous. It is a thing of wonder. Periods are nothing to be ashamed about. They are absolutely the reason we're all here on this planet. They're incredible, so there shouldn't be shame around it. But as we get older, our hormones change, and we experience things that we would consider embarrassing, such as vaginal dryness. I was really amazed and so happy that we've got a woman talking about vaginal dryness, because that really is difficult to talk about, and incontinence is difficult to talk about. And she told us about how she's got treatment. So there is a lot of really fantastic treatment for these problems. But if you can't go to the doctor because you're so nervous to say the word vagina, then I've done it then. I did it again. Vagina. If you can't go to the doctor because you can't be confident in saying that word, a part of your body, then you're going to live with it, and it has consequences.
So is that what you hope can come from this show in that case, that people get the knowledge, get the confidence, can start to change attitudes, change how they feel about things?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many conversations like this popping up all over the place. TV programmes, articles, podcasts. Lots of women are starting to say, I refuse to be ashamed of my body. And this programme is definitely a huge part of it, because, I mean, it's four-part series. That's so exciting. That meant that we could cover so many subjects in depth. And some of it's actually quite funny, believe it or not. I mean, women are great at having a giggle about things. So we have a group of testers who test these incontinence products, and they're really, really funny. It's like a bit of stand-up, but just with weird products.
Well, thank you so much for coming in and telling us a bit about it. And it's back to back to back to back this week. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday on Channel 5.
7 p.m, Channel 5.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Tuning in. Thank you.